All right, here answering questions on heat. Getting the question, what do you heat that aluminum unit with? For many of you guys know what this unit is. For those of you who do not know, that's a fully aluminum structure. We're building them up here in Alaska, and they're going up to Prudhoe Bay, so the North Slope, and they're going to live their life in the oil fields. But even ones that aren't going up to the North Slope, what do you heat them with in this environment? What keeps up? Because aluminum is cold, right? So let's run inside here and look at what these are. We're only covering heat in this video today. We're not going to go into anything else. There's plenty of other videos on the channel covering everything on these units, to include doors and all of this stuff that we're looking at. But we're just going to look at heat here. So we use, I love this heater. It's an amazing heater. It really does well in a rough environment. But that right there is an Autoterm planar heater. It's a 4B, it's gasoline. This particular client, their entire fleet is gasoline trucks. So this is running on the fuel cell of the truck itself, and this fuel line runs along here. The upfitters, the installers will end up running their fuel line down through there, down through this access hole that goes down through the access hole there, and then it goes down to the bottom of the truck, and the fuel pump gets put truck side. Okay, so that's equivalent of 14,000 BTU. Now this unit is well insulated, even though it's an aluminum unit, or I should say, especially since it's an aluminum unit, it's well insulated. And this heater right here keeps up really well. We had these all running on the test last week, or a few weeks ago, or however long ago it was, and it was tapping on 20 below, and these things are cranking 75 degrees in here. So, and they're just amazing. I love the heater. So what you're looking at here, this is not conventional, right? This is actually, we can't take credit for this. This was developed up there on the slope. The operators on the slope did this in response to a problem they're having. Problem is, the intake gets all froze up. And this is the intake. So this is combustion air and this is exhaust. And for those of you who are not aware of how these heaters work, it's identical to the diesel Webasto and S-Bar heaters. This is right up there with the same quality of those heaters as well. I love all three of those brands. This one just is great as well. So you have your intake right here, which is, this is running, recirculating the air inside the cabin here through over the heat exchanger and then discharging. Whereas this is your combustion air and this is your exhaust. So the combustion air needs to come from outside, because you can't suck your oxygen out of the room, right? There are some folks who do improper installs, but what happens with these in the cold at 40 plus below is they freeze up. This freezes up and it builds up water, right, and moisture, and then it just blocks and chokes this thing out and it can't get air. So what the guys up there figured out is, well, what if we ran it through a heat exchanger? So they designed their own heat exchanger, and all of this is a long tube of basically Schedule 40 or Schedule 10, and you just run your exhaust down through it. And you saw what I just showed you outside, and we'll go back out there and look at it. But it basically just preheats the air a little bit, and it gives it an opportunity to stop the moisture from being built up in here. So that's all that is. Now this right here, this is our bracket, our designed bracket, and then we just have SMI and Anchorage, so sheet metal ink, laser cut it out for us. But we made that. It's a simple bracket, but we made it and dimensioned it out and set it up for our application. We manufacture these here. The guys up on the slope came up with this idea, but it just makes more sense. It's more cost effective for them to have us do the manufacturing here. So then the heater just comes over here to this fuse block, which is your simple Blue Sea fuse block. I always love these covers. That's all that is. You do need to add power on units that are not equipped with battery banks. Some of the ones here are equipped and others aren't. But this heater just runs off of this. This runs over to your AGM battery or your silicone battery, whichever you're going to put in here, or wherever your battery bank is. And that's how that thing runs. Now you do need to focus heavily on power, because power is the real challenge over, above and beyond your fuel cell. But again, this runs on the fuel cell of the truck. There's plenty of fleet trucks up there on the slope that are running diesel, but this particular company is running gasoline, and I am personally a fan of the gasoline over the diesel. The maintenance cycle is a little bit better than with the diesel, but they're still going to hit their 2,000 hour life pretty quick, and then you have to run through changing out different things. This right here is the dial. It is my opinion that the LCD and LED screens, they basically are just there to make you feel good. They have a lot more problems than these. Yes, I know there's several guys who don't have a problem with the LCDs or the LEDs, and others do. This right here is just the more tried and true. It's a dial. You can turn it up and turn it down, especially if you have multiple different guys touching these, or you have multiple alternates. You know, this is hard to break. It's pretty hard to screw that up. But yeah, that heater keeps it pretty toasty in there. Pretty toasty. And just to be clear, this air, for those of you who are not clear on how these heaters work, it's very important that you recirculate the air that's in the cabin. That's what makes it a forced air unit. So right here, this is the intake, and these are the discharges, and these discharge to the floor to help kick ice down. But you know what? Before we go out, I'll show you exactly what this heater is. These come from BK Marine. They are made, they're coming right out of Europe. This is the heater themselves. That is your tag. Okay, so you guys can go and look it up. If you're local, you can get them through us or through BK Marine. If you're up there on the slope and this is one of your units, obviously you'll just work with us directly. But this is how we heat this aluminum unit, and it's kind of cold out here. That's why I'm shivering a little bit. But yeah, that's an amazing heater there. Almost forgot. Let me show this to you. So this, explaining what this is, these are our brackets. Here again, just having them laser cut. We're designing them, doing all the bending, all that fun stuff. But we just needed to set it up to where this can drain. You know, typical, this has got to get your 1/4 inch drop, and then so that it doesn't build up water here in this exhaust. And you can see this is exhaust just coming through here, and it's preheating that air for the combustion chamber, and it works really great. It's a very proven method up there, and they've been doing that for quite some time. So yeah, not bad at all. If you want to know more stuff about these things, there's a lot more videos on them, like the door system, but I'll show you really quick the battery banks that it's ideal to run these on. If you have this much power, it's going to be hard to kill. That heater's going to keep rolling. That right there is 300 amp hour of battery, right? Lots of power. It'll run that heater for probably about 50 or more hours, 50, 60 hours without a charge in a rough environment. Okay, there you go, guys. That's how we heat these things. Catch you on the next one.